Good morning, one and all. In today's video lecture, we will discuss speed control of DC motor using converters and choppers. Actually, in this powertronic lectures, we started our discussion with different powertronic devices like SCR, GTO, IGBT, MOSFET, and their characteristics. After that, we have designed simple powertronic circuits like converters, inverters, choppers, and cycloconverters. How the characteristics, how the operation, how the different switching instances and concerned outputs will be there for the powertronic circuits we have discussed in detail in these powertronics lectures we have discussed. Now, by using these powertronic circuits, how we are going to control the speed of the DC motors, so that topic we will focus on the today's video lecture. Actually, a DC motor is a device which will take electrical energy as input and it will convert that energy into mechanical energy in the presence of magnetic field. The motor will run when it is taking electrical energy as input, and it will the armature of the motor will rotate by converting this electrical energy into mechanical energy. So while rotating the motor speed equation, the speed of the DC motor will be from the voltage equation of the motor we will get. So the voltage equation of the motor is V is equal to EB plus IaRa, where V is the motor input voltage and Ia is the armature current, Ra is the armature resistance. So from that, if we calculate speed expression, speed expression will be given as N is equal to V minus IaRa by K into phi. K into phi. So this we got by writing in place of EB, by writing with the K phi N. Okay. So we are assuming that motor is a constant flux machine, and we are getting that expression as N is equal to V minus IaRa by K phi, where Ia is the armature current, Ra is the armature resistance, phi is the flux per pole, N is the speed in RPM. Speed in RPM of the DC motor. So to control the speed of the DC motor, we can change the armature resistance, or we can change the flux, or we can change the applied voltage to the motor. So in this method, we change the flux, motor speed will be controlled. This method is called flux control method. If we change the armature resistance, motor speed will be controlled. This method is called armature resistance control method. By using these methods, we can get speeds below the rated speed and above the rated speed for a small durations, but the amount of speed we are changing is limited, and at the same time, there will be some amount of power loss across the resistor which is placed in armature and field circuits. So To remove that problem, we are using voltage control methods. So voltage control method require MG set. MG set. So which one is a costlier one? So by using earlier techniques, as we are using MG set and which is a costlier one, for that we are going by using a powertronic circuit. We can change the voltage applied to the motor, and accordingly motor speed will be regulated. So how we are controlling the motor speed? By changing the applied voltage to the motor. This thing we are going to discuss in today's class in detail. Okay. Hence, speed of the motor can be changed by changing the terminal voltage. It will be by inserting an external resistance in armature circuit, the flux per pole by changing the flux per pole. Okay. So speed control of DC series motor by using chopper. This topic we will discuss now. First of all, for the series motor, how we are controlling the speed by using a chopper. We will discuss. So actually, this is a DC motor. In this, the armature winding and series field winding will be connected in series. So that's why we are calling it as series motor. This motor will be given supply with a DC source through a chopper and across the out series motor. This entire will be series motor. For this series motor, we are connecting a freewheeling diode. So across the series motor, we have connected a freewheeling diode, and now we are going to see the operation. So whenever the chopper is on, the supply will be applied across the armature and the series field of motor, and the current will be flowing through chopper. So until the chopper is on, the current will be flowing in this path from VDC, chopper, and the series field winding, armature winding of the DC motor, and it is again coming back to supply negative. So in this way, the current will be flowing. So during this portion, we are getting output voltage like this. Whenever the thyristor is on, we are getting the output voltage, and the current which is flowing in the circuit will be gradually increased. Current will be gradually increased. The current is increased to peak point, and when the current is increased, when to its value, and after completing on time, we are switching off the thyristor using chopper. So this chopper is off. When chopper is off, there won't be any path for current to flow and to discharge VDC. So VDC is isolated, but the motor is having energy. Motor armature and series field windings will be made up of inductors. This will drive the current. The energy stored in the motor coils will drive the current through freewheeling diode. So freewheeling diode will forward bias. So the energy across motor will drive current through freewheeling diode through series field and armature of the motor. So from motor armature, freewheeling diode and field winding, again it is coming to armature. So in this closed path, current will be flowing. So when the current is flowing in this path, freewheeling diode will act like a short circuit across the motor terminals. So output voltage will be zero. So when the thyristor is in off, the chopper is in off, the output voltage will be zero, and the current will be slowly decreasing, and current will be slowly decreasing for a duration depending on the capacity of the inductance of the armature coils and the series field coils. and after certain amount of time again we are switching on the chopper will be on again. From this point the process repeats, so we are having voltage drop across the output of the motor, and current will be slowly rising to on time of the series motor. This is how the motor will be experiencing output voltage. So depending on the average value of this output voltage, motor voltage will be having accordingly motor will rotate with the speed. Speed will be according to the average output voltage experienced from the chopper circuit. This is step down chopper from this circuit according to the requirement of speed. Duration of this chopper will be on conduction period of chopper will be adjusted. So accordingly motor will rotate. So this is the main circuit operation of this DC series motor speed control circuit. Speed control of DC series motor by using a chopper is shown in above figure. The speed control is achieved through constant frequency control or variable frequency control. When the chopper is switched on, the DC motor gets input voltage VDC. The motor does not get any voltage when the chopper is switched off. The load current completes its path through freewheeling diode, or you can say that the stored energy in inductor dissipates the freewheeling diode during chopper off time. The average output voltage across the load will be given as V naught is equal to T on by T on plus T off into VDC. V naught is equal to K into VDC, where K is the duty cycle. So the voltage across the load can be adjusted to any value by switching chopper with suitable time period. So depending on the on time period of chopper, we are having the output voltage across the load. So depending on output voltage across the load, the motor will rotate. Motor will rotate. So this is how we are controlling the speed of the series motor by using chopper circuit. Okay. So this is regarding the speed control of series motor by using chopper circuit. Now we are going to discuss speed control of separately excited DC motor. Separately excited DC motor. So this is the motor circuit, and this is armature and the field winding. Field winding. This field winding will be exciting the motor separately. This field will be connected to a external DC supply. Okay, and this armature of the motor is connected to the circuit where we are converting this AC supply into DC supply, and this converted DC is fed to motor armature circuit. Okay, actually this is a speed control of separately excited DC motor circuit by using a semi converter circuit. Speed control of separately excited DC motor by using a semi converter circuit. See, in the circuit we are having two thyristors and two diodes. Okay, so these are connected along with the thyristors. That's why it is called a semi converter. Semi converter. So this will convert the AC supply into DC supply. We are going to see the circuit operation, how is it is converting, and this converted DC is fed to DC separately excited DC motor. Okay. So initially during positive half cycle, as we know, resistor T1 and T1 will be forward passed. When we are applying trigger signal to the resistor T1, the current will be flowing through the resistor T1 through series motor, and from D1 it is going back to supply negative. So in this path, the voltage will be appeared across the motor when the thyristor 1 is triggered to the completion of positive half cycle of the AC supply. Okay. So depending on the firing angle given to the thyristor T1, we are experiencing output voltage across the motor. During negative half cycle, as we know, thyristor T2 and the D2 will be forward biased and current will be going through thyristor T2 through motor armature and diode D2, it is going back to supply. And this path will be activated when the thyristor T2 is triggered. Okay, so depending on the switching instant of thyristor T2, the output voltage will be appeared across the motor during negative half cycle. Negative half cycle. And whenever whenever the voltage is reaching zero at instant pi and 2 pi, okay, the energy stored in the motor coils will drive current through the freewheeling diode. So at instant pi to pi plus alpha during the small period where the thyristor T2 is in forward blocking state. So during that portion, the energy available across the motor will drive current through freewheeling diode. So in this path, the current will flow. So during this portion, the voltage available across the motor is zero because it is connected across the freewheeling diode, and at the same time, current will be flowing through the motor. Okay, so this is how the speed control of separately excited motor will be done. The armature of DC motor is semiconductor connected to the semiconductor. The DC supply to the field winding is given by controlled or uncontrolled rectifier. When semiconductor is used, the power flows from supply to load side. As the power flows from load to supply side is not possible, DC motor regenerative action is not possible. The operation of semiconductor is due to flow of armature current is possible in the following modes. The armature current becomes continuous as shown in figure above. The SCR T1 and T2 turns on when firing angle alpha and pi plus alpha during positive and negative half cycle of alternating supply. The motor gets supplied through SCR T1 and diode D1, and the path will be from point P SCR T1 and load resistance RL, armature, and the diode D1 and negative terminal during the portion alpha to pi. The energy stored in the inductor gets dissipated through freewheeling diode during the negative half cycle of the supply during the portion pi to pi plus alpha. Okay. The voltage across this armature becomes zero during pi to pi plus alpha. And SCR T2 and diode D2 conducts during negative half cycle of alternative supply. The load current flows through path N, SCR T2, and the resistance R and inductance L. Again, armature of the separately excited DC motor through diode D2, and it goes to P terminal P path during pi plus alpha to 2 pi. During pi plus to alpha to 2 pi duration, the current will be going, that is during negative half cycle with the conduction of T2 and D2. The power flows through supply to load during both the positive and negative half cycles. So when we are triggering the thyristors T1 and T2, the current will be flowing through the load during positive and negative half cycles. The armature current becomes continuous when the firing angle becomes small. And at the earlier period, when we are turning on thyristors, we will get continuous current At the armature circuit, at the load end, we'll expect continuous conduction of the load when we switch on the thyristors at the lower periods. As early we switch on the thyristors, we'll expect more amount of voltage drop across the load. Similarly, the armature current becomes continuous when the firing angle becomes small. So these are the waveforms of the output voltage and armature current. So this waveform is for output voltage and this is for armature current. So this is the input voltage which is applied across the semi converter, and the semi converter will convert this AC into DC as we know. So from alpha we are getting output voltage and it will be continued up to pi. During this portion the freewheeling diode will be in conduction. From pi plus alpha to 2 pi, thyristor T2 and diode D2 will conduct and we are having output voltage. So if we observe during this portion we are getting output current also in this manner. But the current is not following the output waveform because the inductance slowly the current will be rising when the output voltage starts and it is reaching its maximum value and it is not reaching zero when the output voltage is reaching zero, and it's will continue the conduction from pi to pi plus alpha due to the available energy across the inductor will drive current through freewheeling diode as we discussed. And from pi plus alpha, when the thyristor T2 and diode D2 conducts, current will flow like this, and the process will repeat. So this is the output voltage across the DC motor, and this is the current which is flowing through the DC motor. This is the waveforms. These are the waveforms of output voltage and current for a speed control circuit of a separately excited DC motor by using a semiconductor. By using a semiconductor. So now we have discussed regarding the speed control of separately excited DC motor. Now we are going to discuss in detail regarding speed control of DC shunt motor by using converter. So this is the circuit of bridge rectifier consisting of thyristors T1 and T2 and T3 and T4, and it will be connected to a DC shunt motor as the field winding is connected in parallel with the armature winding. We are calling it as the shunt motor. Shunt motor. Armature winding and field winding are connected in parallel. Now this is shunt motor. The shunt motor is connected across the output of a fully controlled full wave bridge rectifier. At the output of this full wave fully controlled converter, we have connected a DC motor. And this is a freewheeling diode connected across motor circuit. This is the supply from this full converted control. And we are giving AC supply to the this DC shunt motor. So this is the complete cycle, and this portion is for positive half cycle and this portion is for negative half cycle. So when the thyristors during portion 0 to 5, thyristors T1 and T2 are forward biased, and during these negative half cycles thyristor T3 and T4 are forward biased. This T3 and T4 are forward biased during this portion, and during this portion T1 and T2 are forward biased. So as we know, when we are triggered T1 and T2, current will be flowing from AC source to the resistor T1 from this circuit again through the resistor T2. Current will flow in this closed path, and we are experiencing the output voltage across the DC motor. DC motor. So this is the output voltage V0 when the thyristors T1 and T2 are conducting from instant alpha. The supply voltage will be appeared across the motor, armature and field circuit. Across the DC shunt motor, this much output voltage will be applied. And from the negative half cycle, from the instant pi plus alpha, similarly due to conduction of T3 and T4, the voltage waveform will be appeared across the shunt motor. Okay. So assume the motor armature circuit and this shunt field will be having sufficient inductance and it will drive current through freewheeling diode during the small portion pi plus pi to pi plus alpha and with the conduction of freewheeling diode the current will be flowing in the motor circuit in this closed path. Okay, from motor through freewheeling diode and current will be circulated in this path. Okay, this is the path for current. Path for current during the period pi to pi plus alpha. Pi to pi plus alpha. The thyristors T1 and T2, T3 and T4 are in off position due to natural commutation. Due to natural commutation, the thyristors are turned off, and the thyristors are off, and the freewheeling diode will be turned on with the energy available across the inductance of the armature of the motor and it will drive current in this path. So we are getting the current output current waveform will be like this. Again from 2 pi we are getting the positive half cycle and the process will be repeating. Okay. So this is how the speed control of full converter by using speed control of DC shunt motor by using full wave fully controlled converter will be done. Okay, and we may expect continuous conduction as the inductance of the DC motor will be having sufficient capacity. When AC supply is given, the full wave converter converts AC signal into DC signal. The basic circuit of single phase converter by using the thyristors we have seen. The full waveforms of thyristors T1 and T2 are triggered at instant alpha and thyristors T3 and T4 triggered at instant pi plus alpha with respect to voltage. And as we know, full wave control converters at a similar time T1 and T2 are triggered at alpha and T3 and T4 are triggered at pi plus alpha. For the period alpha to pi, the voltage motor voltage is equal to supply voltage. For the period pi to pi plus alpha, the motor terminals are short circuited through freewheeling diode, making a zero voltage across the motor armature circuit. Beyond period pi, the armature EMF reverses the input voltage by changing the polarity that leads freewheeling diode to conduct. The armature current is in continuous mode due to presence of freewheeling diode during pi to pi plus alpha period. Freewheeling diode recovers the energy from inductance in the motor armature and is applied to load in the form of kinetic energy. By using this freewheeling diode, the torque developed in the motor is said to be continuous. So this is how the speed control the DC shunt motor by using full converter is done. Okay. Now we will discuss the speed control of DC shunt motor by using a chopper circuit. So this is the circuit diagram for a DC shunt motor speed control by using a chopper circuit. So this portion will reflect the step down chopper circuit, and this is the shunt motor. In this armature winding and field winding are connected in parallel, and this motor will be fed by using a chopper. This is the basic arrangement of a DC chopper feeding a power to a DC shunt motor. Chopper shown consists of force commutated thyristor. Actually, we have not shown the triggering circuits and the commutation circuit. Actually, in earlier topic, speed control of DC shunt motor by using full converter, there we are not using any forced commutation circuit because of supply current is reaching zero. Supply voltage is reaching zero automatically. After that, there is T1 and T2 and another pair T3 and T4 will turn it off due to natural commutation. That line commutation phenomena, because of that automatically thyristor are turned off. We are not using any external commutation circuits, but in this chopper circuit we need to use the forced commutation circuit to turn off the thyristor at the desired period. See here the source is a DC source. Earlier we are using AC, that's why natural zero is available in the output and input supply. But here, to control the output voltage, we need to turn off the thyristor. For turning off, we are not having any natural current zero. Okay, for that, at the portions where we require the turning off of the circuit, at that portion, we need to turn off chopper at the desired period. For that, we require a commutation circuit. So, forced commutation circuits we have discussed in the previous video lessons. Please go through that. So there we are having class A, B, C, D, E. So five computation methods are there. So depending on requirement, suitable type of computation technique we are adopting, and accordingly we are turning off the chopper at the required period. Okay. So how we are operating, we are going to see now, and accordingly we are getting the output voltage across the shunt motor. Okay. So when the chopper is on, the shunt motor terminals will experience a current, and the motor will be connected across the supply. Therefore, the output voltage across the motor V0 will be equal to Vs. So during the on time period of chopper, the output voltage of chopper will be equal to supply voltage. So supply DC voltage will be appeared across the output of the motor terminals, and at this point, after completing on time, the chopper is turned off. When the chopper is turned off, it will be acting like a open circuit, and the supply is not connected to the motor. But the motor is having sufficient energy uh, that is stored in the coils of the armature field coils of the shunt motor, and this motor armature will drive this field winding. These coils will drive current through field winding through the circuit, motor armature circuit in this path. Okay, the current will flow in this path for this portion of half period of the chopper during half period of chopper. So when current is flowing, the freewheeling diode is conducting. When freewheeling diode is conducting, it is acting like a short circuited switch across the motor. So across short circuit, the voltage is zero. So that's why during this portion, the voltage is zero. But we are assuming that it will be having sufficient inductance. So the current will be there across the motor armature circuit. Because of freewheeling diode is bypassed, the current will be flowing and we are getting the output current. Okay, so depending on the time period of conduction and depending on the off time period of chopper, we are getting the output voltage, and accordingly the motor will rotate at the required speed. So depending on speed, we need to calculate the output voltage. Accordingly, we need to calculate the duty cycle of chopper. So depending on duty cycle, we are getting the required speed. So that is how we are operating the DC shunt motor by using a chopper circuit. Okay. Speed control of DC shunt motor by using chopper is shown in above figure. Speed control is achieved through a constant frequency controller, variable frequency control. When chopper CH is switched on, the DC motor gets input supply from VDC. DC motor does not get any voltage when chopper is switched off. The load current completes its path through freewheeling diode, or we can say that the stored energy in the inductor will dissipate in freewheeling diode during the chopper off time. The average output voltage across the load is V0. V0 will be given as T on by T on plus T off of VDC. So V0 will be given as K into VDC. The voltage across load can be adjusted to any value by switching chopper with suitable time interval. Okay, so this is how we are controlling the speed of the chopper circuit. So when chopper CH is on, the DC shunt motor terminals, armature terminals and field terminals are connected through the supply through chopper. When terminal voltage V is equal to output voltage of this chopper. So during turn on period of chopper, the current I is bypassed through freewheeling diode. So when the chopper is off, this current is bypassed through freewheeling diode. When chopper is off, the output voltage across chopper or terminal voltage of motor is zero. So when FD is connected, it is acting like a short circuit. So output voltage V0 will be equal to zero. By turning on and off of chopper, the average output voltage across the motor will be changed. So depending on output voltage, motor speed will be adjusted. So that is how this speed of the DC shunt motor will be controlled by using the chopper circuit. Chopper circuit. So these are the waveforms: output voltage waveform and output current waveform for the DC shunt motor fitted by the chopper circuit. This is the supply waveform. Okay, in this class we have discussed in detail regarding speed control, speed control of DC motors by using different circuits. So first of all, we have seen speed control of series motor by using chopper. Then we have discussed speed control of separately excited motor by using semi converter. Then we have discussed speed control of DC shunt motor by using a full converter, and in the last we have discussed speed control of DC shunt motor by using chopper. So this converter is converting AC to DC, then the DC will be fed to the DC motor. Accordingly, we are getting the output voltage. Depending on output voltage, motor speed will be adjusted. So this motor speed will be adjusted by suitably triggering the thyristors which are present in the converter circuits and the chopper circuits. So accordingly, triggering required speed, we are calculating the required voltage. Based on the required voltage, we are calculating the firing angle to the thyristors which are present in the speed control circuits. Accordingly, we are controlling the speed of the DC motors. This is how we are controlling the speed of the DC motor. If you have any questions, please you put the question, or you may ask the question in comment box so that we will discuss in the next video lessons. Thank you, Anandal, for patient listening throughout this video class. Thank you all of you.